Hello, everyone, and welcome to First Coast Living. I'm Casey DeSantis.
Hello, fellow winners. I'm Curtis Dvorak.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you since the big game.
I know. It's
still celebrating.
Starting to set in. It's
Okay.
starting to set in that yes, this is real, folks. This is real. We're going to the AFC Championship for the third time in our team's history.
The third time, and then we're going to play the Patriots.
For the second time in the AFC Championship. Lost to them
okay.
in '97 after the '96 season.
Ah, this is the year, right?
Yes.
This is the year where we take them back. I'm not going to ask you what the line is. I'm not going to. I don't.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, end of Sunday, we will be going on to Minnesota to play in the Super Bowl.
How amazing!
First time ever.
It's going
to be great. Get ready.
Okay.
Get ready.
All right. Heard it here first.
But it's been fun. This whole playoff run has made me feel really nostalgic, and I'm pulling out old files that I kept, and there's
old
the
stuffed
little guy.
animals.
Pulling out old stuffed animals, and I started this because I tell people stories, and you talk about it all the time. I tell these stories, and you're like, oh my God, you got to write a book.
Yeah.
And I don't realize this is just stuff that happened. So I started a thing, Jaguars Legends. I told the legend of Andy Wilkinson yesterday, the kid who got his head stuck in the Jaguar, and this one I decided. A lot of people know that I was Jackson DeVille for 19 years, but how it all got started. Take a look. Hey folks, Curtis Dvorak here with another Jaguars legend. And this legend's about Jackson DeVille. I had the honor to perform as Jackson DeVille for 19 years. And some of you may already know that, but do you know how it all started? Well, here's how. This kid, 21 years old, fresh out of Virginia Tech, came down to Jacksonville and tried out with 50 other people for the Jaguars mascot job. Lucky enough, I won it. And I get to work on July 1, my first day of work, and they show me the artist rendering of the mascot. This is what it's going to look like, Curtis. Here you go. Here's what you're going to be. And I looked at it and thought the same thing you're thinking right away. Orange with black spots? They're going to call me Chester Cheetah or Tony the Tiger. So we had to differentiate ourselves, and I said, look, I really think we should go with yellow with teal spots. And one other note, we need to put pants on them. Because you can't do a streaking bit if you've never worn pants. They didn't know how much I was going to streak over the years. So we did. We made the changes, and we had it redone into that. And that's the Jackson DeVille we all know and love today. And there's the first ever picture taken in full costume. So now you know, Jaguars legend, how Jackson DeVille almost was Tony the Tiger. And that wouldn't have been great. Because Jackson DeVille is the greatest mascot to ever breathe air, and that's science. You can't argue with it. It is science. I think so. I'm pretty sure it's science.
I can see how you
It's been said multiple times.
What's that? It's
that
science.
Jackson DeVille is the greatest mascot to ever breathe air.
And I've said it on the show before, you know, when the Jaguars weren't having the best of seasons, right? Okay. And like last year.
Only a couple.
Right. So, a lot of people have told me they would go to the games because they enjoyed your performance. I mean, when the game wasn't going well, they watched you and you pushed the envelope, and it was fun.
We wanted to make sure in game ops, we want to make sure that people got their money's worth. And I always took it, I wanted to have water cooler moments at the game. And, but it was great. It was
the opposing side's water cooler?
Always.
Because I know you would spend a lot of time over in some territory that the other coaches didn't like so much.
Heck yeah. Just thought, hey, people go to games to have fun. It's entertainment, you know, so we wanted to entertain them. And yeah, it was cool. That story, though, true story. Almost, they handed me that, and I'm 21 years old, and I'm like, I just got this job. They just picked me over 50 people. How do you talk back to your boss and say, we can't do this character that you guys think?
That took courage, you know, to be able to, you know, stand up against a big NFL, or not stand up, but, you know, to voice your opinion because you're the new guy. You just got the job. You're happy to be there. And then you're like, you know what? But I think that's why it made you so good, because you weren't afraid to push the envelope.
Yeah, everyone here knows I'm not afraid to speak my mind.
Nope. Not at all. But I have said that you need to write a book. And I know that you said that it's tough, but you've got so many good stories. And he'll tell me this whole playoff season, you've been telling me stories every day when I walk in, and I'm just like running late. Sometimes that's why I don't curl my hair, because we're having good conversations in the morning about what it was like being
Some stories are safe for TV, others aren't. And others, if I told them, I'd lose friends. And I don't want to tell those stories. But it was a great time. It was Shangri-La. Yeah. But it's back.
And more of these stories are coming out, right?
Yes.
You're going to do more of these little anecdotes?
Yeah, we're going to tell a bunch of stories. Obviously, we'll have 2 weeks leading up to Super Bowl where I'll have plenty of stories to tell you as we prepare for the Jaguars in the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's fun. It's a great time. The city's in love with the Jaguars again, and it's wonderful.
I saw the turnout at the stadium, and then I saw you as some Twitter pics and live feeds and whatnot over at the stadium with that.
Matt Pittman and I weren't missing that. Yeah.
No, I didn't think so.
It was good stuff.
I didn't think so.
It was fun. Although they could have served beer, but they didn't. None of the concessions were open. That's right. I brought beers in my coat.
See? Point taken.
But like again, I got stories. Obviously, First Coast News, our whole sports team has the coverage that you need for the Jaguars. The Riverside Chevrolet Road to Minneapolis airs Friday at 7:30 on WTLV 12, and for the Jeopardy fans, Jeopardy is going to air on WJXX ABC 25 on Friday, but you can tape that because you know you want to watch the Jaguars.
There you go. And on Saturday, the Riverside Chevrolet Road to Minneapolis runs from 8 to 9 on WTLV 12. Will and Grace will run overnight. And tonight, First Coast News is hosting, by the way, on also a sports-related note, a phone bank for the Donna 26.2. So the members from the Donna Foundation are going to be here trying to recruit volunteers for the marathon weekend. So if you're interested in helping out, the phone bank begins here at First Coast News at 5 p.m. I met a lot of the volunteers from around here. I went out there and ran it 1 year, the relay race, which was a lot of fun. Except for I did not know much about the race, and they said, Casey, why don't you do the first leg? And the first leg was up and over the bridge.
Oh, from Mayo Clinic?
Was, yeah. So at the time, I handed off to Patty Crosby, and I nearly passed out. But I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun. You meet people, make a lot of good friends, all for a great cause. So if you have, if you're...
I could do the relay part, because that's 6 miles, right? You got to do 6 miles or 5 miles?
I think mine was 5. I don't know. I stopped counting after 1.
Yeah. I'll be out there. I'll be out there again this year. We'll have coverage for you. I think you're going to be at the Donna Expo and the Friday beforehand, and I'm going to.
Okay. Good to know.
But no, we'll be out there covering it. And obviously during the race, I'll do what I've done the last several years, living at the beach. I put my full body pink spandex on and ride my wheel up and down, high-fiving and encouraging people as they run because
that makes it fun. And I'll tell you, I noticed when I was running it, and they had the people cheering you on and many pop-up bands or whatever it was yeah. I didn't run the whole thing though. For those people who actually do the whole thing, that's very impressive. I just did the first 5 miles and passed out.
Matt Pittman ran a leg of it, but he made sure he ran the leg that ended right near my house, and then we just sat there drinking beers watching everybody run by.
Sat right where he finished.
Yeah.
Okay, have you seen this? We talked about it at the top of the show. Unbelievable picture snapped of a Florida golf course, and it's a battle royale between a alligator and a python.
Yeah.
And the picture is the gator eating the python, but the python has wrapped itself around the gator.
Yeah, we don't know who totally won here, but Julianne Dell talked to the man who posted the pictures on social media.
The python's head was inside the mouth of the alligator, and the alligator was just sitting there absolutely still with his eyes wide open, not moving.
That's when Dr. Richard Nadler snapped this photo, now shared more than 14,000 times. He says he was confused about a backup on the course at first.
We were asking them to please hurry up because everybody was waiting to tee off, and then they actually drove back to explain to us that there was an alligator and a Burmese python who were entwined over there by the water. So we drove towards the hole, and then we took a look at the animals, and we took pictures, and we continued with our golf game.
Dr. Nadler says he never expected the response his photos are receiving. Fiddler Creek security stood by to make sure everyone stayed a safe distance. And while some on social media have expressed concern, many golfers we spoke to say they wish they could have seen it.
I'd love to be playing golf and watching that and be like, all right, cool.
One golfer traveling from Iowa hopes to catch a glimpse himself.
I like the idea that it's on the course and we can see it and drive by it, but I will just keep my distance.
But for those who are wondering how it ended,
apparently there was no intervention, but the next morning they were all gone, and the assumption was that the alligator won, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. Usually, I don't know. If you've watched UFC, usually if the head of one opponent is in the mouth of the other opponent, pretty much they're tapping out at that point.
Yeah. I think that's a good assessment. That was in Naples because we were looking to see where Fiddler's Creek is.
And for those golfers out there who are wondering, if this happens to you or you happen to, let's say your ball hit that gator and python wrestling, and then the rule, obviously it's rule 19-1.
Is to run.
Ball in motion, if it strikes an object, you have to play the ball where it lies. So hopefully it doesn't end up next to the gator and python. Might have to wait for that. But there's also rule 18-1 that let's say that gator or python picked up your ball and took it and went away. You don't have to go get the ball.
That's good.
You can place another ball back at the spot that you saw it last.
So if the gator takes
it,
then you're fine, because you're referencing what happened at TPC Sawgrass with the
seagull.
Seagull took, and I forget who was playing, but it was a long time.
Picked the ball and dropped it in the water.
Okay, but the one that gets me is you have to play it where it lies if it's next to like a true hazard.
Yeah.
Like that's hazardous to your health to stand there.
Yeah. You just walk up and, like that golfer did, slap that gator on the tail, he'll jump in the water.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that video.
You can. If you sneak up to him like good enough and they don't see you and you come right behind, you can actually grab the tail and you can have some fun for a little bit.
No.
But usually they
No.
see you. Usually they see you coming.
No, I've played. I'll tell you, the biggest gator I've seen on a golf course, I think, in Florida was NAS Jacksonville.
Tebow? I thought you were going to say Tebow.
Oh, yeah, that too. He's a good gator. He's a gator. No, but was NAS. I'm telling you what, that thing was huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge.
Usually around here, I think they get rid of them after about, if they get to 8 foot and stuff like that, now they're a danger to small children and animals. So they usually remove them,
Pythons.
bring them somewhere else. Yeah. Pythons, yeah. I'm okay with them getting rid of pythons.
A lot of pythons. Okay, so there, you probably have seen it on the news talking about that massive winter storm bringing snow, headaches all up and down the East Coast. It makes you happy that obviously we're here in Florida.
Yeah,
Wonderful
it
state.
reminds you why we're smart and we moved down here. On normally busy highways in southern cities like Atlanta, roads are mostly free of cars and covered in snow.
Oh, wow.
Georgia's governor has issued a state of emergency because they have no salt trucks. For nearly a third of his state's counties near the nation's capital, snow is complicating an already hectic commute. Despite the low accumulation, many untreated surfaces are still slippery. Yeah, that area, northeast, they're kind of ready for it. There's that storm that's coming to the East Coast. It's coming up to New England as well, and it's called Duval, and it's coming for you, New England.
You knew you had to get a
All of
Jaguar
you.
reference in there.
All of you up there. Speaking of slipping,
Yeah.
like the Patriots are going to do this Sunday when they lose the AFC Championship for the 5th time, a police officer in Texas. This is good. He was out on the ice or whatever. Police officer in Texas was caught on camera showing just how careful people should be on an icy road.
But we don't have to worry about that here because
No.
there's no ice. But if you're up north, watch out for this guy.
Clint
This was-
Aiken,
Yeah.
directing traffic during Tuesday's snowstorm when his dash cam caught him as he slipped on the ice. You can see he catches himself on the hood, avoiding a frigid fall. His department shared the clip as a reminder that if you don't really have to be out in dangerous weather, stay where you are. No, they didn't share that
Yeah,
for any
right,
goodwill. They shared that to rub it in on their boys.
Without question. Without question. Yeah, but good public safety message, by the way.
Yeah, look at him grab the cow catcher on the front of the car there and save
That was
himself.
a good save. That was a good
Solid
save.
save. Like the
'Cause
guy
I've
in the
slipped on
driveway
the
last
ice
week.
before, and that's not fun.
No.
Because you
no.
can, it's tough. Actually,
I slipped on the ice once in college. It was my fault because it was going to get cold that night. So me and the other guys in the dorm went out to the slight incline on the sidewalk outside our dorm, and we threw buckets of water down it as it was getting to freezing temps. So it iced over and created a nice ice slide, ice luge.
And you forgot
and
it.
then we were just sledding down it all night. And we tried one of those train ones where you all line up, and somebody slipped and kicked me right in the leg. I thought I broke my femur, but I didn't, luckily.
okay,
But yeah.
good.
So don't do that.
Okay. Mental note. If
This
you're
is today's show is all about kids. Don't do what Curtis has done.
ever- that should be another theme of a series that you do. Whatever you do, don't do that.
Unless it's being an amazing NFL mascot for 19 years,
Well, there
and you
you
should
go.
definitely do that.
Oh, and by the way, okay, have you seen this? People have been talking about it and the development as a
Oh my
result
God, yeah, my
of
wife.
seeing this.
She's from Detroit.
And so she probably heard about it, told you about it, this meteor that raced through the skies in Detroit, and now they're finding out that it caused a small earthquake in its wake. So residents, they all took to social media when they saw this, and they called in newsrooms. It was a meteor kind of ripping across the skies. The residents there said they noticed and heard an explosion as well. So the National Weather Service determined that the meteor
What?
caused a 2-point-something earthquake as a result, too. Yep.
Crazy. Yeah, she said she was getting texts from some friends who were all texting each other like, "Did you guys just hear that?" And it was like hours, like all separated. Yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Did they ever find a crater? Do we know?
I don't know. Did it burn? Jared would know. Jared,
I thought it just burned up, but
Jared seems to know a lot of this little
So I
information.
got to read more about it and find out. But I thought the loud bang everybody heard, I said it was
Was-
probably the sound barrier breaking.
Oh,
the
is that
sound
what
barrier
you
breaking as the meteor broke the sound barrier, and that makes everybody hear that
Okay.
loud bang.
Okay.
I don't know, but
To be continued.
as long as it wasn't a missile. That's a good thing,
yes,
right?
Yes, no
Yeah.
text alerts were sent
No,
or anything.
no.
We're good. Okay, well, some are calling it kind of creepy. Amazon's new plan to put a camera and microphone in every bedroom is raising eyebrows, and this is all part of the launch of the Echo Spot smart alarm. Have you heard about this thing?
So many home videos. So the Echo device has a camera and a microphone for making video calls. That's what they're saying. The Echo Spot, which doubles up as a smart alarm, has a camera that's intended to be facing directly at the user's bed. Why?
I think it's an alarm, I guess. I guess
device-
you can wake up and talk to somebody.
Which is already available in the U.S., has such sophisticated microphones, it can hear people talking from across the room, even if music is playing. It sells for $130. Why would you put this in your house? You're allowing people
Can we say that the person who will remain nameless that told us that they were talking about something that needed to be fixed in
Yeah.
their car?
Yeah.
And the phone, they have, what is it called?
I don't,
Say they had Amazon, no,
Siri,
Siri.
or Alexa or
Alexa,
whoever. Yeah, they're
whatever.
listening all the
Was it-
time.
So, but then they got an ad in their on their phone 2 days later for the product that they were talking about in their car.
I guarantee it's happened to you out there. And let us
That was
know
the
on
first I've
social
ever
media.
heard of that, but somebody who works here said that.
So many
happened to
times,
them.
but you're not aware of it. It's because it's subliminal. It's called submersive marketing.
Well, no, that's called listening, eavesdropping on my conversation.
True, yeah.
And so, but it wasn't even activated. It was just the phone,
Yeah.
from what I understand, was
Yeah.
just in the car.
Yep. Heard the conversation, and then the next day there was an ad for the device that you were just talking about. And having not searched it, didn't
Yeah.
search it. That's
I
happened
was
to me a
shocked
bunch.
when I heard that story.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're listening everywhere.
Good thing that my microphone just
I always
doesn't
feel
work.
I always feel like there's cameras watching.
Right.
watching
Like
me.
everything that you're saying
Always.
at this moment could be
like-
transmitted throughout the Northeast.
Scary.